Assalamu alaikum, welcome my dear students to our lesson today. It's about tips for reading comprehension. So how to deal with reading comprehension exercise is a big question for some of you. So let's read some tips that can help you for that. First of all, scan the passage and the questions as a whole. That means you have to read quickly to understand the whole idea of that passage. Then read the passage to identify any characters, places, time, numbers, etc. That means you have to find the keywords inside and between the lines. Try to guess any difficult word. Don't stop or just try to think and try to find out what does that mean through the context of the text. Read directions carefully. You have to follow the directions that you are required because there are different types of questions. Search for answers to the questions in the passage. You have to find the answer in the passage for explicit questions. Manage your reading time effectively, so don't forget that you have limited time, so you have to manage your time. Make double check to your answers. If you have finished before the end of your time, so you can reread your answer and check them again. Now it's important to remember some expressions that are you can came across in the questions, like antonyms. Antonyms means words that have opposite meanings. So when you are asked to give antonym of a given word, you have to understand that you are required to give the opposite of it. Okay, so let's watch a video together so that you can understand the meaning of antonyms more by examples. You can skip the video if you don't want to watch it and follow my other instructions for reading comprehension.
Antonyms are words with the opposite meaning. They're words that mean the opposite thing. Here's an example of antonyms: happy and sad. These two words mean the opposite thing. That makes these antonyms. Happy and sad mean the opposite things. They're antonyms. Words that mean the opposite are antonyms, like loud and quiet. Loud is loud, but quiet is like a whisper. Loud and quiet are antonyms. How about these antonyms? Hot and cold. Hot and cold mean the opposite things. That means they're antonyms. They're opposites. Hot and cold. They're words that mean the opposite thing. Antonyms are words that mean the opposite thing, like mad and glad. They're completely different. They're opposite. These words are antonyms. Mad and glad are antonyms. What about these antonyms? Take and give. Take and give are words that mean the opposite thing. They are antonyms. Take and give are antonyms. These are antonyms because they are opposite. Look at these. Huge and tiny. Huge is really, really big, and tiny is really, really small. They mean the opposite thing, so they are antonyms. Here are more antonyms, words that mean the opposite thing. Sit and stand. Those are completely different. They're the opposite. Sit and stand are antonyms. Antonyms are words that mean the opposite thing, like down and up. Down and up are, antonyms.
So thank you for watching. Now we will come to some examples of antonyms. As you can see in this list, you can stop the video and read the examples of some antonyms: after, before, always, never, etc. Okay guys, it's very easy to read and to understand. Here we have another list of antonyms. They are useful for you if you want to read them you will get more information about antonyms. Here we have an example of antonyms. I want you now to guess the meaning of the word and try to think of the opposite of it, okay? Let's start with the first word, which is big. It's very easy word. You can easily find what's the opposite of big. So that's small. Excellent. I hope that you know the answer. So let's move to the second word, which is difficult. What's the opposite of difficult? Yes, that's it. Easy. Very good. What about hot? Hot is the opposite of cold, of course. What about interesting? Interesting is opposite of boring. That's right. Okay, as you can see, it's easy expression to understand. Now we will come to another expression, which is synonyms. Synonyms are words that with the same meaning or nearly the same meaning, okay? They are almost the same. So let's have examples of this. Here we have some lists that talk about synonyms. For example, large, big, exit, leave, present, gift. You notice that they have the same meaning. So synonyms are words with the same meaning or almost nearly the same meaning. Here are some examples like present, gift, beautiful, pretty. So it's easy to understand what the meaning of synonyms. Now we have a video that explains more about synonyms. Let's watch it together.
So what are synonyms? Well, synonyms are words with the same meaning or almost the same meaning. Words that mean the same thing are synonyms, like the words angry and mad. Angry and mad have the same meaning. They are synonyms. Words that have the same meaning are synonyms, like the words seat and chair. They mean the same thing. A seat is a chair, and a chair is a seat. Those are synonyms. The words many and lots, they mean the same thing. Words that mean the same thing are synonyms, so many and lots are synonyms. They mean the same thing. Look at these two words, smile and grin. Those words are words that mean the same thing. They're synonyms. Hopefully with those examples, you're seeing that synonyms are words with the same meaning. But in our definition earlier, synonyms are also words that have almost the same meaning. The words aren't exactly the same in meaning, but they are very, very similar. So we're going to look at some of those synonyms. Sleep and nap are great examples of synonyms that have almost the same meaning. The meaning isn't exactly the same, but it's basically the same because napping is a type of sleeping, but not all sleep is a nap. But they're basically the same, so they're still synonyms. Look at these, warm and hot. These are synonyms. Now, hot is harder than warm, so they're not the exact same meaning, but they're very similar meanings, so they are still synonyms. Shop and store are also synonyms. Now, a store is usually bigger than a shop, but they mean basically the same thing. It's a place you buy things. So they are still synonyms because they have almost the same meaning. They are still synonyms. Well, there you have it. Synonyms are words that have the same meaning or almost the same meaning.
As I mentioned before, you can skip the video and follow my instructions about reading. Now let's have an exercise of synonyms. I want you to guess what is the meaning, or can you give me another word that means large? I think you can do this one because large is very big, so big is synonym of large. Thank you. Now return, it means to come back, the same meaning. Own, for example, I own a car, that means I have a car, that's it. Hard, when an exercise is very hard, you can't do it, so it is difficult. You're right. Thank you. Now we will move. Remember that you need to read carefully to find the synonyms or antonyms. You won't find them written in the passage. You will understand them from the text. So you have to read the text. Here we have an example about William Shakespeare. This passage is a part of a whole passage. This text is a part of whole passage. So the question says the synonym of the underlined word performed in line 5 is. We have 4 choices for this questions, and you have to find out what is the meaning of performed, because he asked us to say the synonym of the word. So you are searching for the meaning, okay, not the opposite. Right. So we have to start reading from before the word and after the word, okay, from here to there. His plays have been translated into many languages and are performed on many stages of theater. So we are talking about plays, which is performed on stage. So what the meaning of performed? Nice. If you say watched, but we have another choice with the same meaning, seen. So immediately I forget about choice A and B. Let's move to D and C. Both, here we don't talk about buying and selling things. We are not in a shopping market, okay? So both, it is not our choice. Our choice is acted, which is suitable for plays, okay? Played, acted on many stages. Let's move now to the pronouns. Pronouns are very important and you have to revise them. You have to understand them before getting any exercise of reading comprehension. We have subject pronoun, object pronouns, and other types of pronouns. So you have to get acquainted with them before getting any exercise of reading comprehension, because pronoun or the reference word is a main question in most of reading comprehension tests. So let's have an example and practice for how to find out what does the word or what does the underlined word refer to. Here we have she. Always, guys, you have to see behind the word from the beginning. For example, here we will find out what does she refer to. We will start reading from Mona. Mona is a good girl. She always obeys her parents. She has a friend, so she go back to she and she go back to Mona. So Mona is the correct answer. Okay, now we go to the other pronoun. Here we have her, which is object pronoun. So let's go back and read about it. As I said, you have to read before the pronoun. Her teacher always liked her. So her goes back to this hair, okay? And her, this one, goes back to what? Let's read before. Reem is good at school. her teacher. So Reem, her goes back to Reem, which is the answer. Now we go to the third pronoun. They always depend on her in helping other students. So always look before the pronoun they. Refer to plural. We don't have here plural except teachers. So this is the answer. They refers to teacher. So pronoun reference and agreement, you have to understand that pronoun must clearly refer to a word, to the word it stands for. In other words, every pronoun must have a clear antecedent. So, for example, Larry said that he was leaving. So, the antecedent of he is Larry. So, this is the word that I am searching for, okay? Here we have a video again, you can skip it to understand how can you find out the antecedent for pronouns.
On to our first example. Moira and June saw each other before she escaped. The message of the sentence is made unclear by the use of the pronoun she. Moira and June are both females, and so the pronoun she could refer to either one of them. The reader of the sentence, therefore, does not know which one of the two, Moira or June, escaped. The simplest way to avoid this kind of confusion is to simply include the name of the escapee again. So we should write, Moira and June saw each other before Moira escaped. Now, all ambiguity is avoided. On to our second example. June recorded a lot of cassette tapes, but none of it was discovered until years later. Again, it is the pronoun, in this sentence it, that creates an error. This is an example of a weak pronoun reference. What exactly does the pronoun it refer to? Again, we should revise the sentence to avoid this type of error. We can change the sentence to June recorded a lot of cassette tapes, but none of her recordings were discovered until years later. Now, the weak pronoun reference has been eliminated.
So thank you for watching the video. Now we can get another exercise for word reference. Now we have this small piece of text and we have some questions about reference word. The reference word could be a pronoun or could be another word. So let's read the first question. The pronoun it in the first line refers to. They mean this it, okay? Nice. It refers to desert, camel, days, or food. It is singular, so immediately you have to forget days. We have just desert, camel, food. You have to read before the pronoun and find out what does it refer to. Camel, we found one. Camel, the camel is called the ship of the desert because it can live. So we have camel and desert. Forget about food. We didn't see food. So let's read again. The camel is called the ship of desert because it can live for days. Nice. So here we are talking about the ship of desert. Here we are talking about the camel. So all the saying is about the camel. So it refers to camel, and this is the correct answer. Okay. Now number 2, the synonym of the word long is. We practice doing the synonym, okay? That means I want another word that means the same as the long. We have to read before and after to understand the meaning of it. So it has a long neck to reach high palm trees. From the word high, I understand that long, it means that something is high. It is not short, okay? So short is the antonym of long. Tall has the same meaning, so it is the correct answer. Number 3 now. The antonym of the word male is. This is the word male. I need now to get out or to find out the opposite of male. Camels live in groups with one male, several females, and the young are called calves. So here we have 4 choices: a man, woman, female, child. So the opposite meaning of male is female. Now let's move to another thing. Main idea. The main idea is what a text is mostly about. So you have to look at the title and pictures. If you don't have the titles, look at the pictures. They tell you more about the text and the main idea. Sometimes the main idea is in the last sentence, okay? So you have to read the introduction carefully and the conclusion with it. Look for clue words repeated over and over. So main idea is the idea that the writer wants to deliver to the reader, okay? It is the point of the paragraph. It is the most important thought about the topic. Here is an example. What is the main idea of this paragraph? We have 4 choices and you have to find out what is the best. Before reading, you have to read the choices so that you can find out easily what is the main idea. Here choice A says studying abroad, traveling, for tourism, C, reasons for traveling, D, finding better jobs. Nice. Let's start reading our text here from the beginning, which is the most important thing. Traveling is useful activity. People travel for many reasons. Nice. This is the beginning. The last sentence, traveling is very interesting for everyone. Nice. So easily you can find out that the text is talking about the reasons for traveling, and this is the main idea of this text, and that's it. Now, title. It is what the text is about. It is like the main idea, but it is more general, and in most of times it is shorter. Let's have an example here. What is the best title for this paragraph? We have 4 choices. You notice that they are shorter than the main idea. Most of the time they are just 1 word or 2 words. Okay, let's read them. Honesty, keeping secrets, helping friends, friendship. So how can I find out what is the best title for this paragraph? Let's read together. No one can live without having friends. Every person needs a close friend to share happy times and sorrows with. Nice. The last sentence, a friend in need is a friend indeed. It's clearly now the text is about not helping friends, not honesty, not keeping secrets. It is about friendship. And that's it. This is the best title for this paragraph. Purpose of the writer. Now we will talk about another thing, which is a purpose of the writer. When you learn how to set a rule or set a purpose for you to read, you can find out what is the purpose of the writer for writing the text, okay? It is the writer's reason for writing. Why is the writer writing that text? Why did the writer write that text that you have read? There are many purposes of writing. The most common ones are inform or explain, to inform you about something new, to explain about something unclear, for persuade, to persuade you with something or to think about something, to entertain just for entertainment, or to describe an event, to describe a picture, or to evaluate or judge a situation or event. So remember that some questions are explicit. That means they are clear and stated in the text. You will find the answer directly in the text if you have read it carefully, okay? So here an example of explicit questions. The question says William Shakespeare was. He was what? So if you start reading from the beginning, William Shakespeare was an English playwright, poet, and actor. So we have choices. We will see which one is correct. You can say that he was poet, teacher, not teacher. They didn't mention that he was a teacher, not farmer, not doctor. So the correct answer is poet. That's it in the text, and this is the correct answer. So this is an explicit question. Remember that some questions are implicit. Implicit is opposite of explicit. So that means they are implied or suggested in the text, but not clearly stated. You will need to understand between lines, calculate if you need to and to think deeply to answer that type of questions. Here an example. William Shakespeare, the same text. William Shakespeare died at the age of what? 56, 52, 60, or 62. As you can see, the text has nothing of these numbers, okay? You have to find out and calculate the correct answer. How? You have to see here the time or the date of his birth and the date of his death. So you can minus the two numbers and get the correct answer. So you have to focus here, calculate his age, and you'll find out that his age was 52. So this is an implicit question. It is important to understand every single word in the passage to answer the questions. Many difficult words in the passage are not barriers to understand it or to understand the questions correctly. So it is not important, okay? I forgot that. It is not important to understand everything, okay? You just can guess the meaning of difficult words. I mentioned that before. Now here are different types of questions. We talked about them, but the new thing is to prepare you for dealing with them. So one kind of your question can be the best title or the main idea, can be understood, can be understood easily in the topic sentence or concluding sentence. So you can find out the answer for this question from the top or bottom of the passage. The question of vocabulary can be about synonyms, which is closest meaning of the word, or antonyms, which is the opposite meaning of the given word, okay? Pronoun reference, as I mentioned, scan a certain paragraph. which the pronoun mentioned, and you have always, when you have this question, you have to always to read before the pronoun and pay attention to the sentence which is close to the pronoun reference. Now, number 4, locating explicit information that we talked about it. Information that is clearly found in the passage. Read the question carefully and scan the passage well so that you can find the answer. Number 5, factual or negative information implicit in question, which needs more from you. You have to find out and think strongly about the idea. So you have 4 choices, all of them true except one is false or the opposite. You can find this type of question. Scanning the whole passage is of great importance. So if you scan the text carefully, find out what are the information that are mentioned in the choices. You will find out which one is correct and which one is not correct. The purpose of the writer or the moral lesson of the story. That's it. When you have when you have finished reading the story, you will understand what is the reason behind the text. Now, other types which are productive questions, you have to write them by your hand. Like explicit question, you can find the information inside the text, or implicit question, you have to think about it and understand the meaning and getting the correct answer. Now let's have a paragraph, but before we have the paragraph to deal with, look at these characters. As you can see, we have here 8 characters. Each one of them have different job. So the first one is a doctor, the second one is a policeman, astronaut or spaceman, maybe a teacher or a lawyer. This is a fireman, this is a cook, and this is a builder, and this is a musician or singer. Okay. Now I want you to stop the video and read the text, scanning the text for the keyword and finding out the keywords for it, understand it well, so that we can start answering the questions about it. Now, before getting the questions, you have to understand how many paragraphs are there. If you look at the text or to the passage, you can find out that we have just 1 and 2 paragraphs, okay? So that you can find any underlined words according to the questions. Now let's have the questions. Choose the correct answer from A, B, C, and D. Nice. What's the best title of the passage? If you read the passage thoroughly, you will find out that we are talking about children's dreams. Okay? What's your dream in the future? The underlined pronoun others in the first paragraph refers to what? Pilots, children, teachers, engineers. If you look before others, you will find out that others refers to children. The opposite of the underlined word, or the antonyms of the word, the opposite of the underlined word or the antonyms of the word, remember, in the second paragraph is forget, require, suppose, feel. Most of the time, you don't need to go back. If you know the meaning of remember, you can easily find out that it is forget. This is the opposite of remember. The purpose of the writer in the passage is to explain that dreams come true by hard work, or by show that dreams are easy to have. Focus on doctors, tell us that engineers work hard. The purpose should be compatible with the title, Children's Dream, and it should be the same idea. So choice A is the best answer. Explain that dreams come true by hard work. Now, number 5, this is an explicit question which has to go back to the text again and find out what is the missing word. Fly planes and travel from one country to another. According to your understanding of the text, you can find out that pilots is the correct answer. Now we go back to we go down to the number 6. Help students to learn at school. Of course, it is the teacher. Answer the following questions. Number 6. What can you do to make your dreams true? According to the text, of course. The answer: I should work hard and remember that nothing is impossible. Number 7. What is your dream in the future? This is an open question. This is a question implicit. You have to understand the text and give your own answer. I can write, I would like to be a doctor. This is my dream. Okay, thank you for now. We have another type of questions, which is information, asking about information to fill the table with the information from the text. We have mentioned many jobs like doctor, engineer, and teacher. But what are the places that doctor, engineers, teacher work in? For doctor, they work in hospital. Engineer works in factories. Teacher works in school. What does he do and what's her job about? In hospital, what do they do? Help sick people. Engineers work in companies. Teacher teach students. How can you achieve your goals? The same idea, it's an implicit question. By never give up and do your best and hard work to make your dream true. And that's it. Here we have another example of reading comprehension exercise. Read the following passage carefully and answer the question. You can stop the video, read it carefully, and we'll go to another text, the complement of the text. Even here you can stop the video again, read and continue with me. Now we have the question. What's the main idea of the text? The best title or the main idea can be understood easily from the topic sentence, which is in the green box. So if you read the introduction, which is in the green box, you can understand that we are talking about a certain kind of bird that can talk. So please, you can always, anytime, stop the video and read, then choose before I show you the correct answer. Now here we have what's the opposite of the underlined word thick in the second paragraph. You have to search for the word, and that is in the green box, and we have 4 choices, and the answer is again. If you want to stop the video, read thoroughly, and after that you can get the correct answer. So if you have read here, because they have big thick tongues, some people say that parrots can talk because they have big thick tongues. So big thick means the same idea or the same meaning maybe. So you can understand that the opposite of big is the correct answer. So here we have wet, dry, high, and thin. I think thin is the best answer. That's it. The underlined word them, this is the reference questions. You have to scan the certain paragraph and you pay attention to the sentence which is close to the pronoun reference. So, is it referred to regions, sailors, parrots, and countries? You have to read before the pronoun so that you find out that it is referred to sailors. You find it here. You can't find it here even in the text. Okay? It comes before the text. Nice. Now we'll move to another question. Why do people like parrots? Because they depend on seeds, very small, beautiful colors. Do not know what they are saying. If you read the text, if you have read the text, and especially this paragraph, you will find out it is because having beautiful colors and can talk. According to the text, all the following are true except. This is a very common question. You have to read all them and decide which one is true and which one is false. So the following are true except. So I'm searching for the wrong sentence. If you read the choices, there are many different kinds of parrots. It's an easy idea and you can know that it's true. Parrots can copy human words and laughter. That's true. Parrots are one of the cleverest bird species. Let's read the next one. Parrots are unsocial birds that live alone. That's not true. Of course, D is the answer. Now, the writer purpose of the writing this passage is to what? So what's the purpose of the writer? Is it for give information about parrots, or explain why parrots eat seeds, or encourage people to train parrots, or to persuade people to treat birds kindly? Of course, it is to give information about parrots. Now we will come to the open questions, which are even if even explicit or implicit. So number 5, where do most parrots come from? As according to the text, most parrots come from hot countries. And why did sailors use to take parrots with them? According to the text, this is implicit question. You can interpret that through the text, because they can live anywhere, or they wanted someone to talk with. Maybe that is why they take parrots with them. Okay, now thank you for watching this lesson, and I hope that you get the most benefit of our lesson today. Thank you very much. Please leave your comment at the bottom down, and see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.